Welcome to the Postpartum Coach podcast, where we embrace our needs as moms, we learn to lead ourselves first, then our families, and where we create our own healing from the inside out to find our way to the work we were meant to do in this world. I'm your host, a fellow mom of 3 and a certified life coach, Lizzie Langston. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Postpartum Coach podcast, episode 93. What's up? I just held peace signs in both of my hands, even though you couldn't see them. Caught myself doing that. Wanted to let you know that's what's happening over here. I have been going through and processing. I've been grieving so much the last 2 weeks. I know I probably sound really happy, and that's because I am. But the reason that I can even be here doing the work in my business and connecting with you guys all right now, considering the 3 things I've been grieving, 2 deaths and 1 family member, extended family member who's in the hospital with COVID, we don't know. We don't know if he's going to recover. And I so pray that he does. And I fasted for he and his wife and family. But the reason I can be here with you today after everything that's going on, and can I just before I get to the reason, let me just tell you what's been going on, okay? A dear friend's baby passed away a little less than 2 weeks ago, and my heart is still, I feel dizzy when I even say that out loud. The grief is very much a part of what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, and I've been through so much with that. And I don't say that to be like, oh, poor me. It's just my body. I mean, the grief has coursed through me. And then my grandmother passed away just last week. And then we have, like I said, that's extended family member who's in the hospital with COVID. And these are things that are not only happening, but we also have the political turmoil and things that have been happening in Washington. And I have barely even really touched the news, but you don't have to. You get on Facebook and you see stuff. It's in the air. Like my massage therapist, Patty, says, it's in the air, honey. And if there was ever a more pertinent time to know how to heal yourself, to know how to process your emotions, now is the time. I've been thinking recently, and I am going to get to what I want to talk about today, which is our body and how it's our best friend and how it's everything, and especially in the times that we live in. But as I've been thinking about what I do among postpartum women and the healing that I help women access in their own bodies and minds, and the healing that I help them create, I really have considered we have been able in the past, and especially maybe like our parents' generation, have been able to kind of not have to really worry about healing. As a culture and as a human race, at least in this country, I can only speak for me because I've been raised here. We have been able to put off healing and not really worry about healing. We've been able to just kind of get on our way. And many of us have been raised in families where it wasn't okay and acceptable to share your feelings, and we didn't even know what to do with big feelings when we were little. Our parents didn't model that for us, and that's okay. For their generation, that was okay. For the climate, though, politically, physically, like even just the air we breathe, everything, in the climate that we live in, we must know how to restore and heal ourselves. And healing, as I define it, is a return from the mind and sort of hanging out in your brain down into the body, getting the mind and the body to reconnect and getting your nervous system to stabilize. And not just having it stabilize itself, but having a relationship with your body to where your mind can stabilize your body. And when that happens, the state of your body can then help you be stable in your mind. And there's this back and forth balance that happens between body and mind. Okay, so that is the work that I help postpartum women do. We get stuck in our heads. We have that baby. There's chronic pain in our body, maybe, after birth or maybe during birth. And our energy and our being kind of gets sucked up into our head, and we have those fast thoughts and everything seems urgent, and we can't really get our bodies to calm down. That is the imbalance that is outside of healing. And my work among women And my gifts revolve and my practice revolves around helping you get back into your body. So going back to me in this week, as I've been grieving, I have called deeply upon a 5-step process that I use to help my clients heal and that I have discovered and really implemented in my own life. And I'm going to share parts 1 through 5 in the next couple of episodes in a 2-part series. But in this series, I want to really start with the foundation for healing, which is your relationship with your body. And so this episode is actually dedicated to pitching to you a new way to perceive your body. The way that I'm going to describe the body today, I hope really breaks your brain open a little bit and your heart open too. I went over what I'm going to talk with you about today with my client, Melissa. And as we were talking about this, she had a moment where she cried. And she's like, I've never thought about it this way before. I've never, ever regarded my body in that way. And I knew, even though she's probably going to continue with some of her similar things that she's trying to work through, her behaviors, it won't be for long because she's changed with the way she saw her body today. And so I wanted to offer to you some of the ways that I view my body. And I really believe that this hasn't come from anywhere or anyone outside of me. The way that I've developed a relationship with my body has been through my own divinely guided healing process and through my experience, and then watching so many women go through what I went through with postpartum depressiveness, postpartum anxiety, and helping them through that. Like I said, I've developed a 5-step process that kind of grounds your mind and your body together and unifies them and gets you to healing, to where you're back to feeling purpose, passion, playfulness, peace, presence, all the P's. Okay, but that will be in a couple episodes to come. For this one, again, let's start with talking about the body. Our body is like the most loyal dog. Our body is our best friend. You might not feel that way right now, and that's okay. Maybe you're like sad because your body's image and literally the way it looks has changed. Maybe you feel discouraged because you don't have enough breast milk and you're wondering what's wrong with you. Maybe you are having a hard time getting pregnant again and you really want to, and you're still postpartum, but you're like, hey, I want another one. Whatever it is, there are lots of thoughts we have that leave us feeling negative emotion towards our bodies. What that actually does is it kind of retreats us higher and higher up into our mind and away from a connection with our body, away from being grounded, and it makes us more susceptible to high nervous system activity in a detached way and high levels of anxiety postpartum. And so I want you, if that's you, if you're feeling anxious postpartum, just take everything I say in this episode and consider it. Because this really is where healing starts, is your outlook on your body. And then, like I said, there's the five steps that we'll get to later. So our body, my body, and I'm just going to kind of present this how I think of it, and then you take it and try it on. I think of my body, especially lately with all of this grieving, it is my best friend. There is no way, you guys, there's no way that I could have gone through the deep, kind of consistent grieving that I have felt over the last 2.5 weeks without this body of mine. I don't know where I would put that emotion. My body helps me move, and it's always there. It helps me move through things and get to the other side. So 3 ways that I kind of build this idea that our body is our best friend. Number 1, it's always there for us, just like a best friend would be. Our body is always there. Have you ever considered that when you are feeling sad and you go eat a snack and it tastes good, your body stores those excess calories, assuming you're not hungry and you don't need that food, you're just wanting it to distract yourself. Your body very kindly and patiently takes that food that it doesn't actually need and it stores it for you. And so instead of you dealing with the emotions, you're just eating the emotions kind of away, right? You're distracting from the emotions, and your body handles that for you. It takes that food and it stores it for you. And it does amazing things with what we put into our bodies, even kind of no matter what we put into our bodies. Yeah, now sometimes we're going to have, irritable bowels or whatever if we're eating crap. But for the most part, Our body always tries to digest whatever we have, and it puts things aside. Another thing our body does for us is it holds things for us. You probably aren't aware, but there are traumatic moments where your nervous system was in fight or flight. Maybe you peed your pants in front of the 4th grade class. Maybe your boyfriend cheated on you and it was humiliating and you kind of went into shock and like shut down and kind of ran away from your social life. Maybe you had a sibling pass away, or maybe you were bullied at school. Whatever it is, maybe somebody touched you inappropriately when you were younger. Your body right now, if you didn't have the tools emotionally to process that in real time at the time that it happened, your body pressed pause and it's holding it for you. Did you know that? Right now, your body's holding on to things that you haven't finished processing. I know this because step 4 of the 5-step healing process that I watch my clients go through and that I've been through, step 4 is past trauma and past hardship that wasn't finished being processed. It surfaces. Once we get through steps 1 and 3 and we create a foundation and a tone of healing and we reconnect you to your body starts to resurface some of these things and bring them up to you to finish processing them because you didn't and couldn't. You just couldn't at the time. Our bodies are amazing. They hold onto emotion for us until we're ready to process them later. And the third way that our body is our best friend and is so amazing is it gives us what we want sometimes over maybe what it wants or what it might need. For example, let's say we want another baby and we want it pretty quickly after that first baby. And I had 3 babies in 4 years. I wanted those. I never asked my body. I wasn't listening at that time in my life, you guys, to my body. And I wasn't like trying to decide, hey, how does it feel? I wasn't checking, all the different measurements that we can take, like our body fat and our blood glucose levels. I wasn't really checking in and getting an internal look at my body. I was just like living in my head thinking, okay, if I have another baby, I'll be happy and I won't be as bored and my mom will think I'm great and I'll fit in better and everyone's doing it. I'm sure I had other good reasons too, but I just was like, I want another baby, and my body just created it. And it never said, hey, let's talk about it. It just gives and gives and gives. Our bodies are amazing. And so if you are in a place where you're either hating your body and you're super critical, or honestly, you just don't think about it very often, that's so many of us, right? We just don't really consider what our body wants in any given moment. We're just kind of like using our bodies as if it was a car beneath our seat, right? We're just sitting there. We're doing the gas pedal, we're driving the car, but we're really thinking about our list of things to do. And we're thinking about the song on the radio and we're thinking about where we're going. We're not, we don't really listen to our car usually unless there's a sound that we aren't used to hearing, right? Just like our bodies, we don't usually pay much attention to them until something's gone wrong, until we're anxious or depressive, or until we have chronic pain, or until we're nauseous or something and we're like, hey, what's going on? What would it be like? I want to extend to you an invitation back into your body in 2021, right? Or even just take this week, okay? This week that's coming up. For 7 days, I want to invite you back into your body like a child lives in their body. Have you ever noticed children will do whatever they want in their body? I mean, if they feel like dancing, they'll dance. If they feel like woo, like just being silly with their voice, they will be. If they feel like rolling on the floor, they will. If their body's tired, they just lay down with their blanket in the middle of the kitchen. Their body and them, they're so connected. What happened to that? Between when we were 10 or 11 or even probably younger, 5 or 6, to where we are today, what happened to our connection with our body? And maybe you're like, hey, there actually is one, and that's so great. Wherever your connection with your body is, I invite you to step deeper into it. What does that mean for you? Maybe that means some yoga. You get into some yoga. Maybe that means you start to notice your emotions more and try to detect the sensations. I have a podcast episode on here. I think it's 42, how to process emotions. And that kind of guides you back into your body in a moment when you're feeling something, especially anxiety. A special note here for those of us who are experiencing depressiveness and anxiousness. I believe that these are emotional symptoms. Just like we have physical symptoms, anxiety and depressiveness are emotional symptoms calling for your attention. These are emotional pain signals. These are emotional buildup, right? Just like you go to the dentist and you get that plaque cleaned off and scraped off of your teeth. Those are the first 2 steps of my healing process, more or less. And again, I'm going to talk about those in the next couple episodes. But that's where we start deconstructing and peeling back the layers of emotional buildup that have you being anxious and depressive. In doing so, I teach you how to manage the depressiveness and anxiety. And the way we do that has a lot to do with your body. So stay tuned. In the next couple of episodes, we're going to be talking about my signature 5. It's weird to call it a signature, but it truly is. Like, I'm actually pretty stoked about it because it's the result of probably about 700 between this year and last year, 700 plus hours of coaching moms between the ages of 23, maybe 25 and 35, sometimes even 40. On postpartum depressiveness and anxiety. And it's remarkable that your body knows how to heal itself and you can heal. And I'm so excited to give you that roadmap. So I'll see you next week. But this week, tune into your body. I invite you to get started getting back into your body. That's where healing begins. I love you guys and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.